Over 60, 4 nuts you must eat, and 4 you should never touch. Hello. If you're joining me today, it's likely because you believe in a vibrant, active life after 60, a life filled with energy, clarity, and independence. But it's also likely that you're confused. The world of health advice is a noisy place. One day a food is a miracle, the next it's a poison. And as we get older, the stakes of that confusion get higher. Our bodies, they just don't bounce back the way they used to. Aches, stiffness, a bit of brain fog, a number on a blood pressure reading that your doctor is keeping an eye on. These small things begin to add up, and we are told to eat healthy fats. We're told nuts are the perfect snack. But what if I told you that some of those healthy nuts could be quietly working against you? Did you know that eating the wrong kind of nuts could raise your risk of heart disease by almost 48%? And if you're over 60, that risk climbs even higher. This isn't just someone's opinion. It's backed by strong, compelling scientific evidence. A landmark study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that certain nuts, not all nuts, but certain ones, can actually spark inflammation that can cause the delicate lining of your arteries to become stiff and unresponsive. They can raise blood pressure and, yes, they can even affect your memory as you age. Here's the surprising part. Some of the most common nuts, the ones you see in every grocery store, the ones you've probably been snacking on for years, may be the ones doing the most harm. In fact, one nut we'll cover later contains a toxic compound that can slowly, silently damage your liver, your kidneys, and even your brain. The scariest part, you probably have it in your pantry right now. It's often promoted for low-carb diets, but for an older adult, it can quietly do more harm than good. But here is the good news. You are in the right place. This video isn't about fear, it's about clarity. It's about giving you the knowledge to make calm, confident choices. We are going to guide you through everything. I'll share the 4 nuts that seniors should be eating often, the ones that truly protect your heart, sharpen your brain, and strengthen your bones. And then I will also reveal the 4 kinds of nuts that may secretly be working against your health, even if you and even your doctor think they're safe. Please stay with me until the very end, because the number 1 nut you should never eat, it's not one people usually talk about, but it can interfere with your medications and even tragically affect your appetite, which is so crucial for staying strong. Let's begin. Let's start with the champions, the nuts that should be on your shelf. Number 4, almonds. As we move past 60 and especially past 65, keeping our bones strong becomes one of the most important jobs we have. I've spoken with so many patients whose greatest fear isn't disease, it's a fall. It's the loss of independence that comes with a fracture. That's where almonds really shine. These small, crunchy nuts are packed with calcium and vitamin E. These are 2 nutrients that play a massive role in keeping our bone matrix sturdy and resilient. Just 1 cup of almonds has about 97 milligrams of calcium. Now, that may not sound like a lot compared to a glass of milk, but it's a significant plant-based source that helps slow the bone loss that unfortunately speeds up as we age. And since a hip fracture can so seriously affect independence at this stage of life, protecting your bone strength is absolutely critical. But almonds aren't just about calcium. They are rich in a mineral that I believe is the great unsung hero of health, magnesium. Many, if not most, older adults don't get enough of it. Think of magnesium as a traffic cop for calcium. It helps move calcium into your bones where it belongs. And just as importantly, it keeps it out of your soft tissues like your arteries and your heart valves, where it can build up, cause calcification, and trigger heart problems. For seniors, keeping calcium in the right place, it makes all the difference. Almonds also provide those wonderful, healthy monounsaturated fats. This is the same healing fat found in good olive oil. These fats are proven to lower LDL, that's the bad, or lousy cholesterol, which is especially important because, as we know, the risk of heart disease rises with age. And let's not overlook digestion. A single serving of almonds gives you about 3.5 grams of fiber. That is a big, big help. Nearly 40% of older adults struggle with constipation. This fiber not only promotes regularity, but it also feeds the good bacteria in your gut, your microbiome, which is the command center for your immune system. There's even more. Almonds are food for your brain. Research from Tufts University shows they protect brain cells from oxidative stress. What is that? Think of it as a form. of rusting on a cellular level. It's a key factor in age-related memory decline. Eating them regularly may truly help keep your mind sharper for longer. For the maximum benefit, please eat almonds with the skin on. That thin brown skin holds powerful flavonoids, and together with the vitamin E inside the nut, they provide a 1-2 antioxidant punch that is far stronger than either one alone. And if chewing whole almonds feels tough on your teeth or dentures, don't worry. Sliced almonds or a good quality unsweetened almond butter. These are easier to eat and still offer all the same benefits. The bottom line is this: almonds are so much more than a simple snack. They are bone support, heart support, digestive support, and even memory support, all in one small perfect package. Number 3, walnuts. If you're looking for the nut that gives your brain a real noticeable boost, walnuts are one of the absolute best. And it's not just because they look like little tiny brains. That's nature giving us a wonderful little clue. There's a very good reason for that comparison. Walnuts are uniquely loaded with a plant-based omega-3 fat called ALA, or alpha-linolenic acid. This nutrient is critical. It keeps your brain cell membranes flexible and fluid. Imagine your brain cells, your neurons, trying to communicate. If their outer membranes are stiff and hard, it's like trying to talk to someone through a thick closed window. ALA opens that window. It supports the speed and efficiency of those electrical signals. And since those connections can naturally weaken with age, ALA can make a profound difference. In fact, research published in the Journal of Nutrition found that seniors who ate about 1.5 ounces of walnuts each day for 8 weeks, they showed better thinking speed and more flexible problem-solving skills. Simply put, walnuts help your mind stay agile and sharp as the years go on. But the benefits do not stop at the brain. Walnuts are packed with polyphenols. These are powerful plant compounds, antioxidants that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. They get right into the brain and gently calm inflammation. This is so important, as we now know that neuroinflammation is a key driver of conditions like Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Here's another special perk. Walnuts contain melatonin. Yes, the very same hormone your own body makes to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. As we age, our natural melatonin production drops, which is why so many people over 60 report fragmented or poor sleep. A small handful of walnuts an hour or so before bedtime might gently, naturally help you rest better. It's not a sleeping pill. It's a signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. And of course, we must talk about heart health. Walnuts supply arginine, an amino acid that your body uses to create nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas that tells your blood vessels to relax and widen, which improves blood flow and lowers blood pressure. Paired with their polyphenols that fight oxidative stress, they work beautifully to reduce the risk of heart disease. Some studies even suggest walnuts may help medications work better. This is especially important for seniors taking prescriptions for blood pressure or cholesterol. A word of caution: to get the most out of them, please keep your walnuts in the refrigerator or even the freezer. Because of that high content of delicate omega-3 fats, they can turn rancid very quickly if stored at room temperature. And rancid fats do the opposite of what we want. They create inflammation. A serving of 7 to 9 walnut halves daily is just right. And if you crack them open yourself, even better. It's a little exercise for your hands and your coordination. As for the taste, some people notice a slight bitterness, especially in the skin. Don't let that turn you off. That flavor, that is the antioxidants. It's the medicine. It's a sign they're doing your body good. Number 2, pistachios. Pistachios might be one of the most overlooked nuts in the health world, but they are especially uniquely good for a senior's heart health. These little green gems are easy to snack on and are just full of benefits that become even more important with age. For starters, pistachios have a perfect mineral profile. They are naturally low in sodium and very high in potassium. Just one serving has around 285 milligrams of potassium. Why does this matter so much? Think of sodium and potassium as two ends of a seesaw. Our modern diet, full of processed foods, has pushed the sodium sideways down, throwing everything out of whack. This forces your body to hold on to water, which raises blood volume and, you guessed it, raises your blood pressure. Potassium is the antidote. It helps your kidneys flush out that extra harmful salt. As we grow older, our bodies tend to hold on to more sodium, which can push up blood pressure and put a terrible strain on the heart. Pistachios help bring that balance back naturally. And it doesn't stop there. Multiple studies show that eating a handful of pistachios daily can drop systolic blood pressure. That's the top number on your reading by 3 to 5 points. That may not sound like much, but for heart health, lowering it even slightly can make a massive difference. The effect is so consistent, it's been compared to what some mild blood pressure medications can achieve, but without any of the side effects. But pistachios aren't just heart-friendly. They're great for your eyes, too. They are the richest nut source of lutein and zeaxanthin. These are two powerful antioxidants that are drawn like magnets to the macula of your eye. They act like internal sunglasses, shielding your delicate vision from the damage of blue light and oxidative stress. They are one of your best defenses against age-related macular degeneration, which is the leading cause of vision loss in older adults. So, with every handful, you are literally protecting your eyesight. Another thing seniors tell me they love about pistachios, they're gentle on the teeth. If hard nuts like almonds or macadamias are tough to chew, or if you're worried about crowns or dental work, pistachios are much easier and more forgiving. And if you buy them in the shell, you get another bonus. The simple act of shelling them, it slows you down. It prevents that mindless overeating. It makes snacking a conscious, mindful activity. And it gives you a clear visual reminder of how much you've had. If arthritis or a weak grip makes shelling tricky, don't worry. Pistachios also come pre-shelled. Just be sure to go for the unsalted or lightly salted versions to avoid undoing all that good potassium-sodium balance we just talked about. The sweet spot? About 49 pistachios or 1 ounce a day. That's a deeply satisfying snack that helps your heart, protects your vision, aids your digestion, and is easy on your teeth, with all those benefits in one small handful. Pistachios are one of the very smartest nut choices you can make after 60. And now, the number one must-eat nut. Number 1, Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are one of those foods that don't get nearly enough attention, but they truly, truly should. For people over 60, these nuts offer health benefits so powerful they are almost like a prescription. So what makes them so special? One word: selenium. Selenium is a trace mineral that is absolutely essential for keeping your thyroid working properly. Your thyroid, that little butterfly-shaped gland in your neck. It's the master thermostat for your entire body. It controls your energy, your metabolism, your body temperature, and even your mood. As we age, the thyroid often slows down. It becomes sluggish. We call this subclinical hypothyroidism. And it's the hidden reason why so many seniors feel tired all the time, gain weight even when they're not overeating, feel cold, or even experience a low-grade persistent depression or brain fog. That's where Brazil nuts come in. Just one single Brazil nut contains more than your entire daily requirement of selenium. Yes, you heard me correctly, you only need one. But selenium's role doesn't stop at the thyroid. It's also a precursor to one of your body's most powerful internal antioxidants, glutathione. Glutathione is your master detoxifier. Selenium helps your body make it. And this, in turn, lowers inflammation and protects your nerve cells. For older adults, that means extra help for brain function and possibly less risk of memory decline as the years go by. Brazil nuts also support heart health. Their healthy fats help lower LDL cholesterol, while their fiber, just like almonds, keeps digestion running smoothly. A welcome bonus for anyone dealing with sluggishness or constipation. Still, and I must be very, very clear on this, moderation is critical. Brazil nuts are extremely high in selenium. Too much of a good thing can become a bad thing. Too much selenium, a condition called selenosis, can cause issues like nausea, hair loss, brittle nails, and even nerve problems. This is not a case of if some is good, more is better. This is a case of just enough is perfect. That's why experts, including myself, say just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per day is the perfect amount. That's all it takes. 1 or 2 nuts to get your full selenium quota for the day. They're simple to snack on, easy to add to breakfast, and need no preparation. So if you're looking for a simple, natural way to support your thyroid, your brain, your heart, and your digestion, the Brazil nut is a small but mighty solution. Just remember, with these nuts, more is not better. 1 or 2 a day, that's all you need. Now, we've talked about what to add to your pantry. We've talked about the foods that build you up. Let's shift. Let's talk with compassion and with honesty about what you might need to rethink. This isn't about creating a list of forbidden foods. It's about making intelligent substitutions. It's about understanding why some foods, even healthy ones, might not be serving you well at this stage of life. Here are the 4 nuts you should be cautious of or perhaps never touch. Number 4, peanuts. I know this one is tough. Peanuts are cheap, they're everywhere, and for many of us, peanut butter is a staple, a comfort food from childhood. But if you're over 65, there are a few very serious reasons why peanuts may not be the best choice for your health. To start, let's be clear, peanuts aren't really nuts. They're legumes in the same family as beans and lentils, and that matters because peanuts grow underground in a warm, moist shell. This makes them a perfect home for mold. Specifically, they are highly susceptible to contamination with something called aflatoxins. These are nasty, toxic substances produced by this mold. They are known carcinogens. Over time, even low-level chronic exposure to aflatoxins can seriously harm your liver. Here's why that's a much bigger concern for older adults. As we age, our bodies, and especially our livers, get less efficient at detoxifying harmful substances. Your liver's detoxification pathways, like the glutathione system we just mentioned, can slow down. That means aflatoxins may build up more easily, and the risk becomes far more serious for a senior's liver than for a 20-year-old's. But the mold isn't the only issue. Peanuts are also loaded with omega-6 fats. Now, let me be clear, omega-6 fats aren't bad by themselves. We need some, but it's all about the ratio to omega-3 fats. Think of omega-6s as the fire starter. They create inflammation, which is sometimes necessary. Think of omega-3s as the fire extinguisher. The modern diet is all fire starter, no fire extinguisher. We are drowning in omega-6s and peanuts. They are almost all omega-6, with virtually no balancing omega-3. For anyone already dealing with arthritis, joint pain, stiffness, or any inflammatory condition, eating peanuts regularly is like pouring gasoline on that fire. It can make things actively worse. And finally, there's the practical concern. Most people don't eat plain raw in-the-shell peanuts. They eat processed peanut products. That means roasted peanuts cooked in inflammatory vegetable oils. It means peanut butters loaded with sugar, hydrogenated oils, and salt. Or snack bars with syrups and preservatives. These extras will raise blood pressure, spike blood sugar, and add unwanted weight, especially around the middle. These are 3 problems you want to avoid at all costs as you get older. So while the occasional peanut probably won't hurt, making them a daily habit is just not the best idea. Not when there are wonderful, healthier options, like almond butter that bring you benefits without all these risks. If you're serious about protecting your liver, cooling inflammation, and avoiding unnecessary additives, it may be time to rethink peanuts as your go-to snack. Number 3, cashews. Cashews are so delicious. They're smooth, they're creamy, they have an almost sweet taste. That's why they show up in snack mixes, in stir-fries, and are now very popular as a base for dairy-free sauces and desserts. But for older adults, especially anyone managing blood sugar or kidney health, cashews come with some important cautions. Let's start with blood sugar. Even though cashews are often seen as a healthy nut, they are significantly higher in carbohydrates than most others. They are uniquely starchy. That means they can raise your blood sugar much faster than you might expect. Cashews have a relatively high glycemic index for a nut. This makes them a less than ideal choice for the nearly 1 in 4 seniors who are living with either diabetes or prediabetes. If you're trying to keep your blood sugar stable, cashews can be a hidden saboteur. But that's only part of the problem. Cashews also contain high levels of compounds called oxalates. Oxalates are naturally occurring substances, but in high amounts they can be trouble. They can bind to calcium in your digestive tract and in your kidneys, forming tiny, sharp crystals. This not only blocks your body from absorbing that calcium, but it can contribute to the formation of the most common type of kidney stones. This is incredibly painful, and the risk of kidney stones and other kidney issues already increases with age. Eating too many cashews or relying on cashew-based milks and cheeses could be making matters much worse. And just like peanuts, it doesn't stop there. Most cashews you find on store shelves aren't just raw. In fact, raw cashews are never truly raw. They have to be steamed or boiled. To remove the toxic caustic oil from their shell, it's related to poison ivy. Then They are almost always roasted again, often in unhealthy oils and heavily salted. That adds extra inflammatory fats and a load of sodium, which can raise cholesterol and blood pressure, putting even more strain on your heart when you add it all up. The blood sugar spikes, the high oxalate load, and the added oils and salt. It's clear that cashews are not the best everyday choice for seniors. Sure, having a few here and there won't do major harm. But eating them daily, or relying on them as a health food, it may not be the wisest option. The good news is, again, there are better choices. If you want creaminess, a small amount of almond butter or tahini sesame paste can provide it without these specific drawbacks. So before you grab that big handful of cashews, please think about how they may be affecting your blood sugar, your kidneys, and your heart. Number 2, macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are often seen as a luxury snack. They're buttery, rich, and absolutely delicious. And for many people, that's reason enough to enjoy them. But for seniors, macadamias may not be the best choice to eat on a regular basis. Here's why. Macadamias are an energy bomb. They are extremely high in calories and fat. Just a small handful, maybe 10 or 12 nuts, can pack in more than 200 calories, and most of those calories come from fat. Now, while not all fat is harmful, the sheer amount of it in macadamias can cause trouble, especially when it comes to weight control. For an older adult, carrying even 10 or 15 extra pounds can make conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, and especially joint pain so much harder to manage. There's a rule in rheumatology: every 1 pound of extra weight on your frame puts 4 extra pounds of pressure on your knee joints. And because macadamias are so calorie dense, without being very filling, it is incredibly easy to overeat them without even realizing it. You can consume a quarter of your day's calories in just a few minutes of snacking. There's also the type of fat to think about. Macadamias are wonderfully high in good monounsaturated fats, that's true, but they also contain more saturated fat than most other nuts, the kind that can raise your LDL or bad cholesterol. It's a mixed bag, and when your risk of cardiovascular problems is already going up with age, it's not a risk you need to take. And then there's the simple practical matter of texture. Macadamias are dense and very, very crunchy. This can be tough on sensitive teeth, on crowns, or on dentures. What seems like a harmless snack could cause real discomfort or, worse, an expensive dental emergency. Finally, there's an effect on your gallbladder. Because they are so incredibly rich in fat, a large handful of macadamias can overwhelm a weak or inflamed gallbladder. For anyone with a history of gallstones, this can lead to bloating, stomach pain, or even trigger a full-blown painful gallbladder attack. It's not that macadamia nuts are poison. They do provide antioxidants, but with their massive calorie load, their higher saturated fat content, and their potential to cause digestive or dental discomfort, they are simply not the best everyday nut for seniors. If you love them, think of them as a dessert. Enjoy 1 or 2 very occasionally. Just please don't make them your go-to snack when safer, more balanced options like pistachios or walnuts are available. And now, the number 1 nut I ask my patients over 60 to avoid. Number 1, pine nuts. This one surprises people. Pine nuts seem so fancy and harmless. They're sprinkled on salads. They're the key ingredient in pesto. But for seniors, they come with risks that often go completely unnoticed. And some of these risks can seriously affect your health. One of the biggest concerns is how pine nuts interact with medications. This is something almost no one talks about. Many, if not most, older adults take at least 1 prescription medication. For blood pressure, for cholesterol, for arthritis, for diabetes. Unfortunately, compounds in pine nuts can interfere with how your body processes certain drugs. To get slightly technical for a moment, research suggests they can affect the C450 enzyme pathway in your liver. Think of this pathway as the main highway your body uses to break down and clear medications from your system. Pine nuts can act like a roadblock or a detour on that highway. The result? Your medications may not work as effectively, or they could build up in your system and cause unexpected dangerous side effects. This is a very serious risk. There's also a very strange and well-documented condition called pine nut syndrome or pine mouth. It sounds odd, but it's very real. After eating pine nuts sometimes from a particular species, some people develop a bitter or metallic taste in their mouth. This isn't just unpleasant. It can last for days, sometimes even weeks. For a senior, this is not just an annoyance. It can be a catastrophe. It can severely reduce your appetite. And when eating less leads to unintentional weight loss, it puts older adults at a high risk for malnutrition, muscle loss, sarcopenia, and a much weaker immune system. When food doesn't taste right, we lose our joy in eating and we lose our strength. It's a fast track to frailty. And finally, like walnuts, pine nuts are very high in delicate polyunsaturated fats. But they are even more fragile. They spoil. They go rancid incredibly quickly, especially when exposed to air, heat, or light, like sitting in a clear jar on a grocery store shelf. Once oxidized, these fats don't reduce inflammation. They increase it. That's the last thing you need if you're already managing arthritis, joint pain, or trying to protect your heart. So, while pine nuts may taste wonderful in a pesto or sprinkled over a salad, they are simply not the safest choice. The risks to your medications, to your appetite, and from inflammation, they just aren't worth it. The best option? Skip them. Use walnuts in your pesto instead. It's delicious and it's safer. There are so many other wonderful nuts that offer you pure benefits without these hidden serious risks. So, what have we learned today? We've learned that not all nuts are created equal, and we've learned that your body, after 60, has different needs. It's more sensitive, it requires more thoughtful care. This isn't about fear, it's not about restriction or perfection. It's about knowledge, it's about a new philosophy. Your health after 60 is a story of intelligent substitution. It's about gently removing the things that may be causing hidden stress, like the aflatoxins in peanuts or the oxalates in cashews, and it's about replacing them with foods that actively heal, strengthen, and protect. Instead of peanuts, you choose almonds. Instead of cashews, you choose pistachios. Instead of pine nuts, you choose walnuts. These are the small hinges that swing big doors. Think of your body as a garden. You've been tending for over 60 years. It's a beautiful garden, but it might have a few weeds, a little dry soil. Your job now is not to use harsh chemicals. Your job is to be the wise, gentle gardener, to add the good compost, the almonds, the walnuts, the pistachios, the Brazil nuts, and to gently, lovingly remove the few weeds that are stealing nutrients. You have the power to do this. The choices you make in your kitchen at your snack time, they are the most powerful medicine you have. Now, I truly want to hear from you. This is a conversation, not a lecture. Have you noticed how certain nuts affect your body? Maybe they give you a boost of energy, or maybe you've noticed, after hearing this, that some of them do cause you discomfort or stiffness. Share your story, your thoughts, and your questions in the comments below. Your wisdom is valuable, and your experience might be the one thing that helps someone else make a better choice today. And if you found this video, this conversation to be helpful, please give it a like. It's a simple, free way to help this important message reach other people who need to hear it. And be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell. I have so much more calm, science-backed wisdom to share with you. Take good care of yourself. You are worth the effort. I'll see you in the next video.